welcome to the Last Picture Show. My name is A.Rahim Khan, and with me is
Mohd Akram.
And the lesson to learn is
always put your camera on record before you go on shooting. And once someone from the crew has pressed the button on record, please don't go near to the camera.
now. No, the thing is, what you just said right now is that how do you get the same energy twice? I guess we learn now. Because this is the second time we're recording this, because the first one didn't record because
Rahim did something.
I didn't do anything, dude.
He's denying it.
No.
I have it on footage.
You have it on footage that I go towards the camera and that's all I do. I didn't do
Why
anything.
did you go towards the camera?
Because I was just double checking things.
Why did you double check things when you have me for that?
Well, I had you for that and look what happened.
See what happens when you cross the line? This is what happens. So now we're doing it again. Today we have what?
We are doing the top 10 movies. Well, in this case, it's almost... Well, okay, fine.
It is top 10.
It's top 10 movies of 2025.
Rahim's list.
Rahim's list, yes, exactly. And I'm going in chronological order on this one. And we're also going to do a fast forward version. Because we are out of water and we have 2 sticks of gum. So let's see how long this lasts. So generally, I felt 2025 was a much, much better year than 2024. Because if you remember, and for those of you who've been with us from the start, you know that when we did do a top list, I could barely couple together a top 10. Last year, it only ended up being a top 6 movies. So
I would cut you off. The video is recording. Is the audio recording?
It is. I can see from here.
Okay.
I can see
carry
from
on,
here.
Please carry
and
on.
if it isn't,
I'm not doing it again.
Exactly. We're not doing this again.
We'll dub it.
And sort of exactly. The audience, the viewers will have to excuse then the poor audio. But I'm pretty sure it is recording.
Okay.
And if it isn't, it's on you.
Cool.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Right. Okay. So starting off, this was a release back in, February or March. And this is director both you and I like quite a bit. And even though he had sort of at the end of 2024, he did a movie called Presence, which is a horror movie. This is a spy thriller. And the movie is Black Bag by Steven Soderbergh, starring Michael Fassbender, Cate Blanchett, Pierce Brosnan, and a bunch of others.
Yeah.
First of all, a word on Steven Soderbergh. I don't think that there is any existent, American director who has this man's range.
Yes.
I think short of animation, this guy has done everything else. I mean, in TV as well as in film.
Yeah.
I mean, from the Ocean's movies to Traffic to show, to a movie like this, to a horror movie like Presence, to that TV show he did last year, 2024, for HBO called Full Circle. This guy's done everything.
Yeah.
And this movie was smart. It was sexy. It was
a slow burn.
It was a slow burn, but it was exactly the kind of throwback movie, the kind of movie that we saw, from spy thrillers in the 60s and 70s, the Ipcress File, Tinker Tailor Soldier Spy, the man who came in, the spy who came in from the cold. It's movies like that, which we don't really get nowadays. So,
and it's one of those films that you have to actually sit down and listen to.
Oh yeah,
It's
absolutely.
not just you have to watch it; you have to actually pay attention.
Because sort of the biggest set piece in this movie, it's not
There's
an explosion. It's a dining table.
Yeah.
It's sort of several people sitting around a dining table, and one among them has to suss out who is the spy, who is the turncoat.
Suss out, huh?
Is that a millennial?
It's not for the millennials.
What is it?
It's a Gen Z type.
It's a Gen Z thing. No, those
Suss out, huh?
Suss out is the actual English.
Yeah.
These people always say that, this guy is really sus, which is the incorrect application of this or use of this word.
Learn, Gen Z, learn.
Learn, exactly. So suss out is the actual phrase. But you know what? I was going to say another word, but I don't. I can say it. They're a bunch of cocksuckers. These Gen.
Astaghfirullah. Rahim Khan.
These Gen Z alpha ones, and they're sort of mishmash of the English language. Forget it, man. But
Black Bag.
Black Bag, yeah. I mean, last year, I think it was 2024, we had that movie. What's it called? A Spy Among Friends or A Spy Among Gentlemen or something like that. That was with what's it called, Guy Pearce, and with Damian Lewis, which was again very much in that same vein of a movie that is based entirely on conversation.
Yeah.
There's no guns in this movie. I mean, there's just that one scene in which she takes out a gun and places it on top of the kitchen table or the dining table. But that's it. There's no like explosions. There's nothing like sort of remotely.
It's conversation.
It's conversation. So I think that this is like sort of in that movie, it's in that sort of vein, it is nostalgic, but then it also like sort of takes all of the good bits of those movies and sort of gives it to us in this. And Fassbender in this movie is really good.
Really good.
I really like the fact that this guy is having his own, because I think for like 5 years, all he did was race cars.
No, he did another one. Yeah.
He did one with Steven Soderbergh. He did one in 2024. It was called he was an assassin.
The assassin one.
That one, yeah. But then he also did this really good TV series called The Agency. So this guy, I'm really glad that he's back. And of course, Cate Blanchett is always really good. So I think we're at least in agreement on this.
Yes.
That Black Bag.
Not on my list, but yeah.
Oh,
it's okay.
Okay, sure. But for me at least, definitely there. Warfare.
Oh, I love it.
So Alex Garland, I've spoken about this guy many times before. First of all, he always makes these movies in secrecy. We don't know that he's actually making a movie or made a movie until it's released.
He lets his film make the noise.
Exactly. I mean, there's no press for these movies. Like I remember for Warfare, I found out literally like a month before it was being released. It was being released. And
I don't think I've even seen the trailer. I just saw a film poster.
Right, exactly. And
excellent sound.
So there are two things. There are a couple of things why this movie worked. First of all, and this is something that appeals to you, are the technical aspects of this movie. Fantastic sound, right? I mean, sort of, there's a lot of gunfire in this movie, right?
A lot of screaming.
A lot of screaming. A lot of atmospherics, right? Because it's not just what's going on in this one house. There's stuff that's going on outside. There's the planes up top. There's just so much stuff going on at the same time that you are like, sort of amazed at sort of how they're able to.
Every time that plane would do a flyby.
Boom!
So say sonic types of
I had forgotten what that's called. It's called a show of force.
Show of force.
Yeah. So you have like a plane come down real low and it comes and it does that sonic boom and all of that stuff. Camera work was really good. Right?
Yep.
But I think that it's not just the achievements of this movie aren't just technical. Right?
It was a simple story, one incident told in a beautiful manner, confined in a space, in a tight space.
But listen, what we were talking about when we recorded this the first time around is we have always been led to believe, thanks to, of course, the propaganda machine that is like sort of Hollywood for, of course, the military-industrial complex. And I know I sound like a conspiracy theorist here, but we've been always led to believe that sort of like, while the human sort of soldiers or the lesser soldiers are like your Marines, your grunts.
Yeah.
But like when it comes to US Special Forces, Delta Force, Rangers, Navy SEALs, these guys are like, the best of the best. And nobody in the world compares. But this movie demystifies that. Because when you're watching this movie, and again, thanks to that guy, I think his name is Ray Mendoza. He is he was there, of course, in the battle itself. He also served as the scriptwriter and a technical advisor on this movie. So he was really able to lend that credibility to this movie and a first-person experience. So what really helps in this movie is that you see these guys, they're all young men, and honestly, they're as scared as you and I would be in such a situation.
You would be the screaming guy.
Yeah, and I would be the shell shock guy who just completely stops functioning. That was played by Will Poulter, who is team lead.
Yeah.
But after like he sees like his friend get shot and also those other people get blown up, that's when this guy just like he just shuts down. He stops like functioning.
It also shows us that how difficult actually it was for the Navy SEALs or even the US soldiers to operate in such locations.
Yeah, exactly.
Usually we think they would go in guns blazing and they would do whatever they want. They would come out.
I mentioned this earlier on when, for example, Captain Phillips, where you had the finale scene in that, where sort of Tom Hanks is in the lifeboat with that pirate. And you have these Navy SEALs walk in with their chests out and stuff like that. And they have complete control of the situation. And they own the room and they come in and boom, boom, boom. And within 2 minutes, everything's settled. That's not the case with these Navy SEALs.
Or even in, let's say, Zero Dark 30.
Oh yeah, with Zero Dark 30, exactly. The operators when they're sort of hunting Osama, right? You're like, these guys, man, you can't stand up to these guys. And here on the other hand, you have these people who are essentially, I mean, they're all frogmen, right? They're all Navy SEAls. These guys are as trained as anyone else.
Can you compare this film with Black Hawk Down?
It's very similar. Very similar.
Same chaotic situations.
Same chaotic situation. But whereas Black Hawk Down, I think, it most definitely did. It got into who the characters were, right? Even though a lot of the story was, of course, factual. In this, we don't really get to know these people.
We just get to know the incident.
We just get to know the incident.
And that's the purpose of the film.
Exactly. We get to know how pointless it was. What did they achieve? Nothing.
Can we say this is a commentary on how the war itself was pointless?
I know Alex Garland, if you interviewed him, he would say no. But it 1000% is.
It is.
Because what did they achieve? Nothing.
Nothing.
So it's like a big hole of they went, they came, they saw, and they did nothing.
They did nothing. This was the title of your...
the review that I...
The review.
Exactly, the review I did for this movie. So yeah, I really Moving on. I really like Warfare. Okay. Then of course we come to a movie that I was wary of because it was a sequel and it was a legacy sequel. 28 years later. Hollywood has a tendency of dusting off these movies that they did 30 years ago and knowing that people watched it then are now people who have money you and me, so they're like, okay, let's make a movie for these guys and see if they show up to the cinema and buy tickets. So I was wary. I was like, you know what, man, it's going to be another attempt at trying to revive a franchise. To hell with it, because I know what they had done with 28 weeks later, which wasn't really good. But this time around, you have Danny Boyle and Alex Garland, who wrote and directed the first movie, coming back. And for me, I think that it is one of the best horror movies of the year. Right?
Given that we only have Weapons.
No, but there were a bunch of others. I mean, there's so many other horror movies from the year. But I mean, ones that stand head and shoulders above everything else, it is definitely this movie.
I'm not a very big fan of zombie films, so it does not make my list.
That's fine.
The only thing that I love about it is how the plot folds out, unfolds, and the technical aspects of it.
Oh, yeah.
That it's shot completely on iPhone.
Completely on iPhones, which is really a curious decision. I don't know why you would do that.
And one other aspect of the film that they somehow this time around try to humanize the zombies, try to create a connection between the audience and the zombies.
They try and they do that. They kind of add more to what's it called, who the zombies really are. You have a interesting character in the form of Rafe Fiennes as the doctor. Yeah, a really interesting one. Then there's this whole father-son thing going on. Really good soundtrack. And of course, it opened the door to a sequel, which is coming out this week, in fact. This time again, it's written again by Alex Garland, but directed by Nia DaCosta, and it is 28 years later, Bone Temple. So really looking forward to that.
Bone Temple, this is going to be regarding the Doctor, I think so.
It is. So I think it's almost it picks up from where the last movie ended, because the last movie ended on this really wild note where you had that guy appearing like a Jimmy Savile type character. I can't get into that when I actually watch that movie. But yeah, really, really interesting.
Moving on.
Okay.
I can do this for another hour, man.
It's okay. We've still got a lot to get into. Okay. Wait. We've done 28 years later, and then right after 28 years later came in July. One movie that I know you and I 1000% agree on. And that is F1.
Yeah.
The reason why I'm adding it to the list, of course, because it's a fantastic movie. But me and you have spoken about this many times on this show. We've spoken about this elsewhere too. We talk about complete cinema, total cinema. What is a movie that actually embodies the medium, but then is also able to take advantage of all of those individual elements of the medium? sound, acting, editing,
Yeah.
cinematography, technology. You know, what is able to do that, put it all together and make a really good movie out of it.
Yeah.
I contend that sort of like, for example, a movie like Dune is total cinema, right? For us this year, it's F1.
It's F1. I completely agree. I would love to mention over here the miracle, Shahir Shahid.
You're right.
We had a very good session with him, and he was able to, you know, break down for me what Hans Zimmer did.
Yeah.
in
So
this
Shahir
film.
is a music producer, a music teacher, and I'm so grateful to Akram that he mentioned him because I recorded like a couple of days back the best soundtracks of the year, but I think now it's incomplete without actually having
without having him.
because he's somebody who'll be able to really break it down for us.
He will read into whatever Hans Zimmer did in this film, and the moment when I was having the session with him, it was like a one-on-one session.
Yeah, we're just talking to him.
Yeah, so he was telling me, okay, this is what Hans Zimmer did over here. Acha, ab isne aise kiya, and I was like, oh, acha, ye kiya, wo kiya. So yeah, brilliant job done on the sound by Hans Zimmer. Really good cinematography in this film.
Really. So there was one issue that I had, and I remember even telling you about this, but then that was just like a limitation because the thing is that you can't mount cameras on a car that's moving at like 150 miles an hour. The cameras are just going to be a safety thing, but they'll just fly off.
They will fly off.
You can't have that. So I think I remember you even telling me there was just one shot that they had where the camera like swivels, right? I think that was the thing that was only sort of
a limitation.
That was a limitation because you can't do that without it actually even showing up on the other, like the other cameras would see the other camera, right? So I understood that.
They collaborated with Sony after Top Gun.
After Top Gun, because
so
again, this
they
is
made
Simon
a lot of
Kinberg.
cameras for Top Gun. They did the same thing with F1 as well.
They did the same thing with F1. So where I think this movie, again, I spoke about all of these individual elements. The acting, fantastic.
You were talking about how Brad Pitt still gave...
Yeah, so the thing is that Brad Pitt being the old dog that he is, I love that the way that sort of the character is written is that even now, both as an actor but both as a character, he's able to show up everyone younger than him.
Yeah.
Right? Because the thing is that, you know, he's been in the industry for like, what, almost 40 years now?
40 years now.
The fact that he's able to come and own
the
screen the way he does in this movie, right, is just a testament to who he is as an actor, to the character that's written for him.
Yeah.
Right? So, I mean, he was really good. Damson Idris, who plays the younger guy, good. Kerry Condon, who plays the lady, great. What's it called? Javier Bardem, who plays the team owner, great. Tobias Menzies, who plays the...
Good ensemble.
Villain, if you will. All of these guys are working. And then the movie has such fantastic moments. Me and you spoke about the last scene. But then even in between...
He's flying.
Yeah, he's flying. But then even in between, there's such really, really good moments. I think the only there were two one's a personal thing, but then one's also something that I had with the script, is that in between there's that one scene where, you know, this guy comes back, Damson Idris, after having this accident, and because of like sort of the FIA rules, their car is taken. Brad Pitt's really pissed off. He then has an accident. So like, you know, the momentum the movie was going with, the direction it was taking, kind of it stops right there. It's like a speed break. So for me, at least, that didn't work.
Okay, I think now that we are talking about this again, now it just hit me. The reason why that scene was also important is because that is when we actually emotionally connect with Brad Pitt. Because that is when we find out of his scars. That is when we find out...
I connected with him the moment he's on screen.
That is because of his aura.
Okay.
In terms of let's say the script and all, you have to also connect with the character of why is he putting himself through this
on the line like this.
And the moment when the FIA walks in and they disqualify the car or whatever they have done with the car, he gets frustrated because remember this, that he always wanted to get that position.
Yeah, of course.
Throughout his life, and he wasn't able to. He was always number two.
Yeah,
and this was his moment when he could have become number one.
And the
moment he reached this close to that point,
they took it from him.
So he was very frustrated. So he goes all out, and he does. That accident does occur. And that is why he comes back in. So I think that was, I don't know, in the need of the hour or the script ki demand thi. स्क्रिप्ट की रिक्वायरमेंट थी मेरे ख्याल से ऐसे.
I don't know. For me or something, it kind of like checks the momentum of the movie. But again, that's just a very minor thing. The other thing that I regret is not watching this movie on IMAX. I really wish I had. Because this movie was shot with the intention of watching it on a big screen. And you can see those shots. Right? Especially when it starts. You know, when he's racing there, and there are fireworks and all of that stuff. It's really cool. So... yeah, I mean, sort of, I know that there are a lot of critics who would look down their nose at a movie like this simply because it is like a blockbuster, right? It's a popcorn flick. But again, it lends to the idea that you can have a movie that is, again, complete cinema, and that was F1 for me.
True cinema experience.
A true cinema experience. So that was F1. We then go on into October, and that is The Long Walk.
Dystopian era after a post Civil War. Bunch of people are voluntarily given an option of just taking the long walk and walk till you cannot walk anymore. And the last man standing is the winner. The winner gets a wish, and that wish gets fulfilled. Excellent film, excellent story. Again, it's a simple story based on book by...
So, what's it called? That was like a summarized version of this Stephen King book, a book that was his very first, which he wrote in college, which is an allegory for Vietnam. Because much like these young men in this movie who are, again, volunteered to go to war, there was a senselessness in it, in their deaths. What are they doing it for? Right? Everyone back home is proud of you. You know, they're sort of buying into that patriotic fervor, right? There's jingoism attached to it. There's all of these things. But again, at the end of the day, it's, you know, these soldiers who are fighting, they don't care about all of the politics or the ideology. It's just about the man right next to you. And that's what this movie kind of literally captures. In which it's about these guys. In this case, it's about sort of these young men. They don't care about anything else, right? For them, it's just about them being in that moment and sort of taking care of, in this case, their sort of adoptive brothers. So that's what the movie and the book were about. But where this movie makes it to my top 10 list, and why, is the acting. The guys in this, I mean, primarily the leads, the two gentlemen who play the leads, but then also the supporting cast. They are so good, and they're so young. So see such talent. So again, this is also a testament to the script as well as to the director who got these performances out of them as well, right? They were so good.
The lead role, the African American, they were two African American. The Arthur, I think his name was, the long haired dude.
The long haired guy, the Native American guy.
Again, the bastard.
Yes. And then of course the main dude.
The Chinese.
The Asian guy. Then of course there's the white guy. Garrity. Even she's in it for just 2 scenes. The mother.
Yes.
There's that one scene where he's walking and he sees her on the side of the road. And that really does you in.
I have a reservation with the ending of the film.
I do too.
Because throughout the film, they were... Before talking about the end, I would love to talk about how the characters are built throughout the film. So throughout the film, in the beginning of the film, we don't know anything about any of the characters. So we don't understand their motivation, why are they even walking, what's going on. And by slowly and gradually, as the movie progresses, we also tend to understand the motivation behind each of the characters. And somehow all the characters have something in common, have a very strong motivation behind taking this long walk voluntarily.
Absolutely.
Knowing that they might not reach the end. And somehow throughout the film we get to understand that all the characters have an intertwined life with one another.
Yes, that is true.
But what bothers me is you present to us such a beautiful story, such a beautiful film, such a beautiful acting, and you keep us on the edge. But by the end of the film, you give it all to us and you don't leave anything out for us to think about or even talk about. So that is something that bothered me regarding the ending. Is I really like films in which there is an open ending. So let's say, for example, Inception, we're still thinking about whether he's in a dream or not.
Yeah, whether the stop is still spinning.
Is it still spinning or not? So with this film,
I agree with you because the thing
hand out to us on a plate and we say, "Acha, theek hai,
yeah,
fine."
because the thing is that it kind of takes a departure from the book in which this doesn't happen. You know, I mean, it almost had like a Bollywood ending, the movie. Where, you know, he's like, oh, you know, what's it called? I'm going to take my revenge on this guy. Yeah. And he does do that. The book ends in far more like sort of obtuse fashion, if you will, in which he just keeps on walking. He doesn't even pay attention to the major at this point. Yeah. He just keeps on walking. So, or is it the colonel? The major or the colonel? Major. Okay, right. So that's where I agree with you. I think that sort of, if they had left that bit out, I think the movie would have been better for us. Yeah. Because again, leaving things open-ended, which is, you don't always have to leave them open-ended, but just leaving things open-ended gives you, you know, you think about it. You walk out of the cinema and you're like, did he make it? Right?
Yeah.
So I think that's where maybe they kind of faltered. Yeah. But I think there's an emotion to this movie, which I would say the latter half, it just... if it doesn't take a toll on you watching this movie, then literally, you know, you don't have a heart. But that's the long walk for you. Following the long walk, and this came out also, I think, around the same time. This is, of course, a movie that Akram did not watch in its entirety because it was so goddamn long. But it's one battle after another.
One battle after another, yeah.
I've
heard good things about it, but...
So Paul Thomas Anderson's adaptation, or at least loose adaptation, of a Thomas Pynchon novel, starring, of course, Leonardo DiCaprio, Benicio del Toro, Sean Penn, Regina King, Chase Infinity, and like a buttload of others, is a movie that I think it kind of is the zeitgeist in that it embodies exactly the kind of topics and conversations that Americans are having right now. Why am I saying this? I mean, we were all a witness to that shooting that happened a couple of days ago where that ICE agent killed that woman, right? So this movie deals with sort of fascism, the police state, immigration, what's it called? You know, the militarization of the police, so many things. And then, of course, what as an individual you can do. Yeah. Not perhaps as a revolutionary, but maybe just as somebody who wants to struggle against these things. Yeah. The acting is fantastic, but that's what you come to expect from people like DiCaprio. But then Sean the real Penn. Winner in this movie is, and Sean Penn, of course, but the real guy, you know, star in this movie is first Benicio del Toro in his supporting role, and then, of course, Chase Infinity, who plays the daughter. She was just amazing. And the fact that she can hold her own with these seasoned actors means that she has a very promising career ahead. One thing, and I don't think you...
Does she have any other films?
I think she started some other stuff. I haven't seen it. I look forward to them. But one thing that's interesting for someone like yourself is that while we normally associate IMAX with, like, you know, these big expansive shots, in this case, he has you looking in IMAX at Sean Penn's face.
As a close-up?
As a close-up.
Does it work?
I mean, you know, sort of, if it is meant to mirror or complement the landscape in which he's filming, because he's shooting this on the border between Mexico and the United States. Okay. So it's like desert and very arid and like mountains and stuff like that. And you see that like sort of in Sean Penn's face, now that he's 60, then yeah, it totally works. And again, it's a very unexpected, you know, you wouldn't use IMAX like that.
Yeah.
Would you?
Probably not. It's meant for landscape.
Dude, it's 70
it's
millimeters.
Meant for a bigger
exactly,
screen.
It's huge. Right? Yeah. 70 millimeters, like that's gigantic. You're not going to, why would you use that for a close-up? And yet here he did. But one thing, and this is exactly why you didn't watch the movie, the runtime.
It's too much. 2 hours, 40 minutes is too much, man. Come on.
No, I agree with you. I feel, but I mentioned this as well before in my review. When you are a director of Paul Thomas Anderson's stature, as an executive producer, you're not going to come up and tap him on the shoulder and be like, you know what?
Snip, snip.
Yeah, get rid of this scene, get rid of this scene. Please make this movie like 2 hours. Yeah. You don't do that. But I think as a filmmaker yourself, maybe you need to realize that you need to exercise more restraint.
And distance yourself from the project.
Which is very difficult.
How
do you do that?
I don't know, by understanding that this is meant for the audience. This is, yes, number one, this is something that you love and you want to tell the story, but you also want to tell it for the audience as well. So the moment, I don't know, even Scorsese does that. He gives you a very long run time.
I mean, we had that with Killers of the Flower Moon, which honestly bored me to death.
No. We've had this discussion. We'll not go there again. Scorsese has his element of telling stories in a good manner. Departed bhi to lambi thi. The Departed.
It wasn't that long.
It was, I think, 2 hours or something.
Yeah, 2 hours is fine. Killers of the Flower Moon was 3 hours long.
No.
It was that long.
40 minute के तो credits थे ना. ये 20 minute के credits होंगे. It was like 240 or something.
240,
but
okay.
He gives you a complete story. I haven't seen the film of Paul Thomas Anderson yet, but I don't know if he's weaved the story in such a manner that
I said this even in my review as well, that 100% the guy should have gotten.
So that means there were scenes in the film that turned out to be a drag.
Absolutely. I said that in my review as well. There were scenes that had no right to be there.
So he
could have gotten rid of them.
My point is, he was in love with the project, hence he wasn't.
Do this in the director's cut, which you released like 5 years later. Don't do this now.
True.
Okay, now this was a movie I was kind of on the fence about because you and I discussed this previously. But okay, Weapons.
Yeah, it should be on the list. It's I don't think it should be like an honorable mention. This should be on the list is because we do tend to agree on the part that the narrative structure wasn't as good as
So the narrative structure, I think, failed the movie.
But the movie itself, if we, let's say, give them this edge, fine, chalo, narrative structure is tarah tumne bana diya. It does hold that importance, or it does have that value to be on the list of top 10, 2025. 1 is the acting.
Yeah.
2 is
the story
itself.
3 is the finale. Yeah.
So I think that's about it.
So the way that for those of you who's hopefully watched this movie, the way he had structured it didn't work for me. Even though the story from the very get-go, like the trailer and onwards, sort of, if you're not intrigued by the movie, then you don't have like sort of a curious bone in your body. I loved it. I loved the premise. But it kind of got lost like in the weeds, right? With that sort of middle chunk. The finale, of course, paid off because you speak about the acting. First of all, the child actor. Really good. Then the witch, who I hated.
Everyone, I think, hated her.
Everyone hated her.
But the finale made
was just desserts. The finale was so satisfying. Poetic justice. It was so satisfying. So that's where I think that sort of when it comes to horror movies, we already have 28 years later, and now we're adding this one to the list as well. So Weapons is totally deserved and justified. Yeah. And there's one other point that I wanted to make quickly before we move on. What I like about this movie is that, and I said this in my review, is that this movie is a clash between sort of chaos and control, between sort of modernity and sort of the sort of natural world. Because the thing is that why are you setting this movie in suburbia where everything is perfect? Right? You have this element of chaos represented in this woman who uses like trees and twigs and blood to do what she does, to cast her spells. And here you have like this perfect, neatly arranged like houses and lawns and people and all of that stuff. So I really loved that.
Because it would be least expected to happen in such
Exactly. But I just love how he did that. Yeah. I really loved how he did that. There were these shots repeatedly in the movie of like Coca-Cola, of like cereal boxes. Why is he doing that? Because again, that stuff is stuff that we take for granted. It's normal. It's stuff that will not surprise you. And then you have this force of supernature, like she's supernatural, just come in and literally fuck everything up. You know?
वैसे है ना, जैसे हम कहते हैं यार फुप्पो ने जादू करा दिया, या खाला ने खाला का तो हम लोग इतना नहीं कहते, लेकिन this is, and he set this whole film in such an environment that we least so for example, let's say you probably seen Wrong Turn. You would expect bad things to happen. But in a perfectly set up world,
manicured, everything.
Yeah, so you would not expect such. And top of everything, you would not expect this to happen in a children's school.
Oh yeah. This is like a high school type thing.
High school भी नहीं कहेंगे तो बच्चों का वो.
नहीं, like a high school type I think, the kids are like messing around with Ouija boards and they're Satanists, so they're smoking pot or something like that, right?
Yeah.
You don't expect this to happen to like preschool, like, class 5-6 kids or something like that. You don't expect it to happen with them. True. So, Weapons was very well written, well made. We had that slight issue with it. Weapons, and then we move on to...
एक आध skip ना कर दें बीच में.
Wow, this guy really wants to go home.
I'm done, man.
I am too. But look at the level of enthusiasm I have.
We have.
I have.
This was my idea to redo this right now.
That's all right. That's all right. That's all right. Okay. We did that. Okay. We disagree on this movie for very strange reasons. Although for me, it is... It's just, I can't describe it in any other words than just beautiful. Train Dreams.
Train Dreams, yaar. This was a simple story told in the most simplistic form, yet very beautifully done, that intrigues any cinephile to, admire this film. I wouldn't say excellent acting. I would say suitable acting, good acting, done exactly whatever was required was delivered.
Right.
Really loved the editing. The edit worked out for this film.
Yes.
You would look at the name and you would think, I don't know, it's something about trains and something about dreams. But it's much more than that, and it is a story of a simple guy, not much achievements, not much, and the ending, where they make a...
You're skipping a lot. Wait a second. I know you're trying to kind of like
मैं वक्त बचा रहा हूँ.
You're doing like a fast forward, it's like sort of abridged version of this, but I think at least
go ahead.
This movie I definitely want to give its due, simply because sort of on paper, it's a movie about a man who lives a simple yet unremarkable life. Tragedy strikes him much later on in life, but that is not something that defines him.
Yeah.
His is an existence that I think a lot of us might long for as well. In that he is, sort of like, he experiences life. The modern world passes him by, right? And yet there he is out there in the woods, just living. And I think it is, you kept on using the word simplicity. I think there's a beauty in that simplicity. And I think that sort of, that beauty in just moments that this man's life has been reduced to, I think that is what this movie is about.
Yeah.
And that is something that is equally complemented in this movie by beautiful cinematography. I'm forgetting the name of the cinematographer in this case. But for using only natural light.
Yeah.
I don't know what cameras they used, but they only used natural light.
Yeah.
And I think that is the perfect decision. That is the most appropriate decision in this case. Because when you're out there shooting nature, you don't want sort of this artificiality.
This reminds me of The Revenant.
Exactly.
Yeah.
When you're shooting a movie like The Revenant or a movie like this,
lighting
you can't use this. You don't want to use this. It almost feels like you're adulterating it. You're adulterating this beauty. So, a beautiful movie to look at. You said that the acting, yes. Joel Edgerton, whatever his name is, has always been like this low-key, but very accomplished actor. Like he's a good actor. And this movie did not require him to be anything other than himself, very frankly.
Yeah.
He delivered what was meant to be delivered. And one thing, and you said this in our earlier take, was the editing.
The editing, yes.
The editing in this movie is so well done.
Yeah.
Because
the flashes that you get.
There was a very, I'm forgetting who said this, but in essence he said that editing is the clash of ideas.
Okay.
Right? Editing is a means to take maybe this shot and juxtapose it with something else, and then get the audience to derive some meaning from it.
Yeah. This is called Kuleshov effect.
Yeah, the Kuleshov effect, which I taught you guys.
No, you did not.
I did.
No, you did not. Come on, यार अब हर चीज़ का क्रेडिट नहीं लेना होता.
Listen to me. I remember.
You listen to me. ये नहीं पढ़ाया, किसी और को पढ़ा दिया होगा. हमें नहीं पढ़ाया. मुझे तो क्लास से निकाल दिया करते थे तुम. मुझे क्या पढ़ाया है तुमने? Remember, you used to. We're digressing a bit.
It's okay.
You used to put my assignment up on that क्या कहते हैं projector.
This is pre-chat GPT days.
And you pre GPT days, and you would literally tell me कि this line you copied from this place, this line you copied from this place, this, and I would argue and I said नहीं सर ये मैंने खुद लिखा है, ये मैंने खुद बनाया है.
You tried to argue the point, but it didn't work.
It did not work.
So remember that scene in which towards the end he takes that plane ride? And I've said this before in my review, I'll say it again. It's a very like Ratatouille type scene from the Disney movie, in which that critic takes a bite from the ratatouille he's eating, and he's been very harsh to these people so far. But he takes a bite and he's immediately transported to his childhood. That's exactly what happens here.
Yeah.
And the scene does not last longer than 2 seconds.
In Train Dreams?
Yeah.
2 or 3 seconds.
And I kid you not.
These are like flashes of
his
memories and his life.
And that's what brought me to tears.
Yeah. A lot of times in the film, I would think, since it's called Train Dreams, I would take it away from the name, and I would think, yaar, achha ye khwaab chal raha hai. This is a dream. But then I was like, no, this is not a dream. Just because the name suggests it's a dream, it's not exactly a dream.
Yeah.
The dream is not the exact dream. It's a dream of, let's say, generations and future modern world and stuff like that. Because the way you said it, he watches the world pass him by.
Yeah.
So that is probably a dream. Because Baba कहते हैं ना कि I built this, but after some time there is another train, वो जो bridge पूरा एक बन जाता है. तो अब इससे कोई ज़रूरत नहीं है. So it's a commentary again about how time passes you by, and you probably are doing something important in this time and era.
But in generations to come, it's forgotten.
It's futile. So yeah.
So yeah, I mean, I know it was a slow burn for you.
Very slowest burn.
But I absolutely love the movie.
Nice,
absolutely love the movie. This is a movie that I even told you to watch, but you kind of skipped. And this is Nouvelle Vague. See, you're scoffing at it. But first of all, and I reviewed this here on the Last Picture Show, directed by Richard Linklater. It is a making of a making of. It's a movie about the making of Jean-Luc Godard's seminal movie, Breathless. And yes, I do not like Godard at all.
यहीं पे तो हम गलत हैं, यहीं पे तो तुम गलत हो.
नहीं, मैं गलत नहीं हूँ.
नहीं, गलत हो ना.
No.
एक तो you are defending Nouvelle Vague, and then you are, I don't know, ridiculing or not accepting the क्या कहेंगे उसे, the finesse,
the value of that movie
of नहीं, Jean-Luc Godard.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
He comes up with, जिस तरह आपने कहा,
Truffaut and Varda and so many other people. So listen, just because I do not like the guy does not mean that a movie about him or the making of his movie doesn't have value. This is a movie, and this is my problem with Netflix. I don't think it had a theatrical run, but when you do make a movie like this, please let it be in cinemas for a while.
Only you would be sitting in the cinema, Rahim. Come on.
Other people would too. I'm telling you, man.
How can you give me a ballpark figure of how many people would be even?
I don't know. I mean,
who would be familiar with Jean-Luc Godard?
Not in Pakistan, but abroad, everyone would be. Yeah, exactly. Abroad, everyone would be. Because because I'll tell you, I mean, sort of, if you're a film student, if you are a film teacher like yourself, I mean, sort of, this man is foundational for many reasons. So having a movie, and I'm not saying that is the only value of this movie, that's simply because it tells that story. Linklater is able to, first of all, capture and sort of crystallize what that era was about, the aesthetic, the style, the filmmaking. You have fantastic acting from the lead actor Guillaume Marbeck, who plays Jean-Luc Godard, as well as Zoe Deutsch, who plays Jean Seberg, or however you pronounce it, right? There's that. It's witty. The script is really well written. And I don't know, it's just like sort of like, it's a feeling that sort of you have. Like, you are almost transported back to this time. the people are cool, they're dressed well, there's good music playing. It's just this sort of, it's this spirit that he's able to capture, right? That having not seen the movie makes you laugh right now.
I'm just laughing at how passionately you're defending a film about someone that you do not like. No, but I would question its existence. Right?
No.
Why make a film?
See the movie. Watch the movie and then get back to me and say if you question its existence or not.
Chalo, we'll
do that.
Do that.
Yeah, which is never going to happen. I know. We're not going to watch the movie.
फ्रेंच में है ना यार, अब कौन पढ़.
So what?
I watched Sentimental Value इतनी मुश्किलों से यार थी, तो बहुत अच्छी, लेकिन
subtitles, my friend.
Come on.
Subtitles.
नहीं, फ्रेंच सीखूंगा मैं.
If we were.
Je m'appelle Akram. Je suis. ये हमें सिखाया गया था.
क्या बात है यार? Je suis idiot. Okay. If for example we said that F1 was a complete cinematic experience.
Yeah.
In a genre that is, of course, like, sort of your blockbuster popcorn type movie, then the next movie the movie that you just mentioned, right, is, I think, the very same if it were to come to a dramatic movie. And that is, of course, the Norwegian Joachim Trier's Sentimental Value, starring Stellan Skarsgård, Elle Fanning, and the other two ladies whose names I do not know. This movie, and I think I'm usually.
रोए थे वैसे ही मूवी देख के?
नहीं, रोए नहीं था. It made me reflect a lot. It did not make me cry. There are other movies on this list that made me cry. This movie made me reflect a lot. You know what you just said about The Long Walk? That it doesn't leave anything open to interpretation.
This leaves a lot.
Because the thing is that to this very day, I'm still thinking about certain things about the movie. And if a movie is able to do that, it's a good movie.
I know, I agree.
No, I'm just saying, we're telling the viewers here, it's a good movie. Because this movie is, again, it is able, like, it's well directed, well written, well acted, well scored, well shot. Everything is just so well done. But sort of that emotional core of this movie, right? That central idea of the relations that you have with people. And how you never know. I mean, I remember many years ago how this was always like a stupid meme on Instagram. You don't know what this person's life is like. You remember that? Right?
You don't know what I'm going through.
Exactly. You don't know what I'm going through. But that's what this movie is.
Sentimental Value, I think it's not just a film. Just like you said, it's a film that will help you reflect upon not just yourself but also about society. It's a very important and a very excellent commentary done by the film regarding the relationship between, let's say, a father and his, I would say, children, not exactly daughter. Father and his children, father and his own mother. So it's a commentary on the importance of this relationship, and also a commentary on how at times, and also a commentary on the society itself. So at times we come across people to whom we associate certain labels, or we define them in certain boxes, or we put them in a box and we say, yaar, ye to aise hai, ye to waise hai. We don't understand, we don't pay attention, we don't spend enough time to understand people.
Yeah.
Especially people who are around us and people who are close to us.
Yeah.
So
absolutely.
We at times take them for granted, especially in this film, like the daughters are taking their father for granted. They always are complaining about the father is never there. It was always our mother.
I mean, they never had him in it. He was never there in his life.
But later on, both the daughters, they realize and discover that the father was always there. Yet he did not made his presence felt to the daughters. So regardless of whatever we think about someone, we need to also understand that the other person also has his own perspective. There is really a way from where they are coming from that we don't understand. There is a new perspective to things. So this film not only just makes a commentary on the relationship between people, it also makes a very huge and a very important commentary on film as a medium itself.
Yes.
जहाँ पर we cinephiles or filmmakers would agree and always claim to say कि we would love to, we find film the best source of medium to express our emotions.
Yeah.
Similar to a musician or a singer who says, I express myself through music, or I express myself through art, or I express myself through dancing. So filmmakers express themselves through film. So this film actually is a proof that someone who finds it difficult to express himself through communication or through verbal contact, he or she would always find this medium powerful enough to communicate or bridge those gaps.
Yeah.
Because in the film we get to see that the father is able to connect with his daughters with the help of
a script.
A script.
Yeah.
Throughout the film, the father repeatedly tells the daughters that whenever they have an argument about something,
like initially when the father comes in the movie, and I'm like, oh yeah, he's a typical father. He wasn't there in their lives ever, right?
He's always drunk.
He was always like, there was always some issue. He was always off with like some other woman. He was just never there for them. And here he is now back in their lives just because he needs them. There's no real reason for, and you immediately dismiss him there and then. Similarly with his mother, you dismiss her as well because she's somebody who committed suicide. Yeah. You don't know why. You don't know her backstory. Yeah. So there's these initial impressions, these face value impressions that you get of these people, and you're like, you know what? But then, as you said, here is a man who bears the scars of this relationship with his mother, right? Because she committed suicide when he was young, right? Here's somebody who tried to connect to his kids by the only medium he knew well enough, which was film. Which is why he cast them in, like, for example, he cast his eldest daughter in one of his movies. And now he's written this script for the daughter I think he has the most connection with. Yeah. Because she is an artist as well.
Yes.
Right. But they dismiss him. And again, he just keeps on insisting, read the script. So he's not exactly telling them that read the script because, you learn about the movie. Read the script, you get to know me better.
Get to know the characters.
Yes, you get to know who I am and what all of this has all been about. So that's this depth that I think that sort of Joachim Trier and the other person who wrote the script have just...
This is not an adaptation, right?
No. This is an original screenplay. Okay. I just think that sort of that level of sort of observation, that level of knowing, humans, of personalities, of behavior, I think that that's something that just really, really just shows how...
And let's not forget about the editing.
Look, technically the movie these are so many things to talk about, about why this movie is so good.
Yeah. I think it's an excellent example for foreshadowing as well.
Yes, yeah.
Throughout the film, a lot of scenes, a lot of moments were foreshadowed, especially the ending.
Yes.
And that is when you realize that...
but there was also the scene you liked where she's crying, but you don't know in what context is she crying. Is this real life?
And it happens exactly at a moment when she has an argument with her father.
Yeah.
And it cuts to a door opening up and the girl walks in and then she sits down by the bed and she starts sobbing. Crying. And you feel like, अच्छा ये तो अभी लड़कर आई है, and now she's in her room and she's crying, but the camera drags out, and you realize that you're sitting in a theater. She's performing. So excellent. Yeah.
Beautiful movie. And what's it called? There are a couple of honorable mentions that I just have to quickly do.
Sure.
One, of course, is Relay starring Riz Ahmed. Love this guy, deserving of the Oscar that he won for Sound of Metal. And it's a really decent thriller. I want this guy to have like much meatier roles. And I think he's going to have that, hopefully, in Aritu's movie with Tom Cruise, Digger, which is coming out at some point this year. Another movie which is from New Zealand, it's called In the Fire of War. This is a movie about the struggle of the native peoples against the British. And again, these are very, very pertinent movies, considering the kind of stuff we've seen over the past 2 years that I think we need to see more of. Neighborhood Watch. I reviewed this movie on the Last Picture Show. This stars Jack Quaid and that guy who plays... the villain, one of the villains in The Walking Dead. Keep on forgetting these names.
Age.
There you go. And this is about a schizophrenic guy, somebody who has mental health problems, who witnesses a crime, and the only person who believes him, or at least wants to believe him, is his neighbor who's a retired security guard, who always wanted to be a policeman but never could be one. So it's a really simple story. Like there's no like theatrics or something like that in it, but I liked it. Sovereign stars Nick Offerman as, and it's a true story, based off a true story, about somebody who's a part of the sovereign movement in the US. These are people who, of course, reject the US government and all of that stuff. And it's a very interesting story in that it's about sort of a father and son, and has this very violent finale, which is it's worth watching for Nick Offerman alone. And lastly, Good Boy. Good Boy is a horror movie told from the perspective of a dog.
Huh?
So I know.
Batao.
So the thing is that like sort of for 95% of, I guess, like maybe studios or execs or anybody who was potentially going to film, fund this movie, I'm sure that would have been the reaction.
Okay.
Right? They would be like, I mean, what is this, like
Obviously,
Paw Patrol?
yeah.
Is this a movie? Is this a movie that like sort of is like Who Let the Dogs Out or something like that, or Lassie? But no. The story of this movie is that sort of it's about this man who is terminally ill, and he goes to his family's home out there in the woods somewhere, and his only companion is his trusted golden retriever.
Okay.
And sort of he is being bugged. He is being tankar, as we say, by something.
Okay.
It's this evil presence.
Okay.
And we do not see, we see the owner, but we see the owner from the dog's perspective, the dog's POV.
Huh?
Yeah. Trust me, listen.
So, is the guy possessed?
The guy,
is there a ghost or?
There is a ghost. There's this evil presence
No.
in this house that is constantly sort of attacking this guy. And the only thing that's a witness to it
Is the dog.
is the dog. Again, technically this movie is an achievement. I'll tell you why. Because again, as you look, you
Every time, Rahim, you've said that ये film ऐसी है तो ये film ऐसी, it turns out to be shit. Just
No.
so you know. अच्छा चलो.
that's just you.
अच्छा.
I mean,
तो मैं अपनी बात ही करूँगा ना.
I can end this. I can end this on that movie that you recommended me to watch.
All of you, oh नहीं, excellent यार, क्या बात कर रहे हो? Compare you comparing Good Boy with all of you?
Yes, I am.
Good Boy is like a comic horror.
You haven't seen it.
नहीं क्या मतलब यार?
Have you seen Good Boy?
Look at the premise.
That's what I just
Look
said.
at the premise.
Don't judge a book by its cover.
ये क्या बात?
When last time you were here
A
in this
film is
very
supposed to be like
studio,
that way.
on this very seat, you were like, listen, don't judge a book by its cover. All of you is this wonderful story, and because you don't have a heart, that's why you don't like.
I don't talk like that.
Yeah, exactly. You spoke like that. So you know what? On your recommendation, I was like, okay, Akram is recommending a movie. Let me watch this. And so I downloaded. I was going to say acquired, but whatever. I watched All of You.
That is because you don't have a heart, Rahim.
No, but that's not it.
All of You is a film that needs a heart.
No,
you
it
don't
doesn't.
have a heart.
It is such an irritating movie.
No.
It is so irritating. That movie.
You cannot relate to it. You have
First
never
of
been
all,
in that position.
I don't want to be in that position.
ये क्या बात हुई?
First of all, okay, that actor, I know, because when you told me about this movie initially, I was like, you think that, oh, they're like actors. I'm like, who the hell are these people? I've never heard of them before.
ये वो लड़की तो जानता
But
है
no,
ना.
I know both of these. This guy is from Ted Lasso,
हाँ.
the main actor, and Brett Goldberg.
Yeah.
And he even wrote this movie, right? And I know this lady, she's been in a number of movies as well. Imogen Poots, I think that's her name,
Poots.
right? So, watch the movie. And again,
Comic horror.
comic horror nahi. I'm talking about thing. You're stupid, all
Paw
of you.
Patrol.
All of you.
नहीं, all of it मैं देख चुका हूँ ना. मैं दोबारा
All
क्यों
of you was like,
Good Boy पे आओ ना.
try and defend all of you to me. You have like a
I
minute.
cannot. I don't have to defend
You have a minute.
someone
You have a minute.
without a heart. You need to have emotions.
No, you don't.
You need to
You
have a heart.
These two essentially, I mean, they're committing
You cannot
adultery.
even defend the
She's
premise
cheating
of
on
Good
her-
Boy.
I just did.
Nahi,
She's
yaar.
cheating on her husband, right? Whereas all she needs to do is man up and say, you know what, man? I like you.
That is because stuff like this at times is complicated.
It's not complicated.
It is complicated.
It's not complicated.
लोगों ने
In
अपने
this
स्टेटस में नहीं डाला हुआ था रिलेशनशिप
It's
स्टेटस
complicated.
होता है यार कैसी बातें you won't understand it Rahim there I defended it
No,
good job
no. I mean, for me,
नहीं, देखो,
I should have added that
all
movie
of
to the
you-
worst of
all
2025.
नहीं all of you is a just मैंने last time भी कहा था it's a new perspective
No,
or
it's
a
not a
new
new perspective.
नहीं
It's not a new
a new
perspective at all.
take on
On what?
देखो a new take on the emotion of love
What emotion of love?
Acha, do you disagree that they are in love or not? Do you disagree to their emotions?
Wait, what are you talking about?
All of you.
No, I know you're talking about all of you, but what are you talking about exactly?
कि दोनों प्यार करते हैं या नहीं करते?
Okay. So first of all, the movie is about sometime it's set in the future or something like that, in which there is a test, and the test reveals to you your soulmate.
If you don't get married soon, Rahim.
One second. One second. It reveals to you your soulmate. In this, you have the two lead characters who have known each other from university.
Yeah.
And clearly the guy is into the girl.
Yeah.
The girl is maybe into the guy, but she is somewhat guarded, or she doesn't want to give into that emotion, or she's just simply friend-zoned him. Yeah. Like most friend-zoned guys, he takes her to this thing. It's like taking, this test doesn't exist, but like sort of a modern day thing would be going with someone who's friend-zoned you to their date.
Yeah.
Essentially, right? Because that's what happens. You're third wheeling, right? Yeah. So this guy is like desperate to be with this girl, but it just doesn't happen. She finds her soulmate. She has a whole life with that guy. But then ye kebab mein haddi chodi aa jata. This motherfucker comes there and he ruins everything. He ruins everything.
No, it's not him who ruins it.
Both of them.
It's the girl who also wants
both
it.
Of them. No. Of course, I said both of them. Both of them. Both of them are equally thing, because then she starts cheating on the husband, right? And sort of goes off on weekends with this dude. And while he's okay with it initially, he says he wants more. And more would be her leaving the husband and her child for him. And there's this constant back and forth. Along the way, there's a lot of emotional damage that they do to other people. The guy in particular, because he has relationships with other people who are interested in him. But again, because he can't get his mind over of this person, he's just stuck on that person. Right? So the thing is that, again, if
Rahim, this is how emotions work.
No.
This is
These people are losers, and I'm so glad that they did not get together at the end of the movie. So glad.
Ending तो बहुत अच्छी थी.
क्या ending was
अच्छी थी? वही तो कह रहा हूँ. I'm glad they did not.
वो तो होना ही था. That was bound to happen. Of course they shouldn't have gotten together. They had no right to get together. I mean, will they or won't they? Will they or won't they?
Again, you would not understand it.
Get a life.
You would not understand it.
Get a life.
You would not understand.
See you in 2027, and hopefully you do not recommend another shit movie like all of you to me.
नहीं, excellent movie यार. Paw Patrol. Watch Paw Patrol.
Watch Good Boy, please.
Good Boy.
Thank you very much. Like, share, and subscribe. Allah.